Good morning, dear students. In the continuation of your subject, that is Database Management Systems, subject code is CS502. In the continuation of that, today we will going to cover the topic of keys, right? So let's start. What is key and how many types of keys and what are the working of keys, right? So first of all, here you can see the definition of key. Key play an important role in the relational database, right? And it is used to uniquely identify any record of row of data from the table. And you can also say that it is also used to establish and identify relationship between the tables. Here you can see the example. Here table 1 name is students and table 2 name is person. Table name students is having the attribute ID, name, address, and courses. And person table is having attribute name, date of birth, passport number, license ID, and SSN number, right? So these are the keys since they are uniquely for each person's, right? So these are the attributes which is defined the uniquely attributes of the particular person, right? In the continuation of that, they will discuss about the types of key, right? So so many types of keys available, but here we discuss only few keys which is important in your subject. First one is primary key, second one is candidate key, third one is super key, next one is foreign key, alternate key, and composite key, right? So let's discuss first, that is primary key, right? So here you can see the definition of primary key. It is the first key which is used to identify one and only one instance of an entity uniquely, right? An entity can contain multiple keys, as we saw in a person table. The key which is most suitable from those lists become a primary key, right? And also you can say that in this employee table, ID can be a primary key since it is unique for each employee, right? So in the employee table, we can even select license number and passport number as a primary key since they are also unique. For each entity, the primary key selection is based on the requirement of the developer. So here in this table, we can select these number also primary key, but because primary key is only one key or only one key in that attribute, and which is uniquely identify the attribute, right? So this is the primary key, and this is useful. This key is used to uniquely identify the attributes. Next one is candidate key. So here you can see the definition of candidate key. Candidate key is an attribute or set of attribute which can uniquely identify the tuple. Tuple, what is tuple? Tuple, that means the row of that particular record or table. And remaining attribute expect for primary key are considered as a candidate key. Here you can see the candidate key are strong as primary key, right? So in employee table, ID is the best suitable for the primary key, and the rest of attribute like SSN ID, passport number, license number are considered as a candidate key in this table, right? So this is the candidate key. Next one is the super key. So what is super key? Here you can see the definition of super key. Super key is a set of attribute which can be uniquely identify a tuple, and also we can say that the super key is a superset of a candidate key, right? So super key of the candidate, that means in a single table in a single table, which is already discussed about the employee table. In employee table, employee ID, employee name, a name and the name of the two employees can be same, but employee ID can't be same, right? Since this combination can also be a key. In the super key would be an employee ID, name, etc. These are the super key, right? So in the continuation of that, we'll discuss about the foreign key. So here this is the definition. Foreign key are P's are the column of the table which is used to point out the primary key of another table. For example, in a company, every employee work in a specific department, and the employee and department are two different entities. So we can't store the information of the department in the employee table. That's why we link these two tables through a primary key of one of table. Here you can see the a table, so you can better understand what I am trying to say. In employee table, department ID is the foreign key, and both table are related, right? So here you can see the department table is the department ID is the foreign key for that table, right? So in the continuation of that, we'll discuss about the alternate key. So there may be one or more attribute, or a combination of attributes that uniquely identify each tuple in a relation. Each tuple, that means each row, and these attributes or combinations of the attribute are called the candidate keys, right? And one key is chosen as the primary key from these candidate keys, and the remaining candidate keys, if it exists, these turn to the alternate keys. Here you can see the example of the alternate keys, right? In other words, we can say that the total number of alternate keys is the total number of candidate keys minus the primary key, right? So alternate keys may or may not exist if there is only one candidate key in a relation. It does not have any alternate key. For example, you can see employee relation has two attributes, employee ID and PAN number. That fact, the candidate key in the relation. Employee ID is the chosen as the primary key. So other candidate key, that is PAN number, act as an alternate key in this example, right? And the next continuation of that, the next one is composite key. So composite key, whenever a primary key consists of more than one attribute, it is known as the composite key. Or also we can say that the concurrented key, right? Here the example of that, you can say the employee, in employee relation, we assume that an employee may be assigned multiple role, and employee may work on multiple projects simultaneously. So the primary key will be composed of all three attributes, namely employee ID, employee role, and project ID in combination. So these attributes act as a composite key, since the primary key comprises more than one attribute, right? So this is the composite key. So today we discuss about in this video what is key, and how many types of key in DBMS. Thank you.